Hey, what's up all you hip cool cats? My name is Kit, and we are on a fantastic adventure in Russia. I know things seem a little scary right now. We're not all supposed to talk about Russia or anything like that, but let's face it, Russia is part of world history. It's part of human history, and we're going to learn the history of Russia, part 2 by Epic History, and we're going to learn more about this country. So let's go ahead, sit back, get our learn on, but also, if you do have a chance, please consider being a Patreon. That link is in the description box below. You get some of the awesome behind-the-scenes content. You see us laugh, cry, talk more, yell, scream, fight, drink, and be merry, which is pretty cool. So there you go. That link is in the description box below. Join in, tune in, check us out. We appreciate all the support that we're doing, all the support we're getting here at Chicago Reacts, because we love you guys and gals. But now, sit back, grab a snack, and we're going to enjoy History of Russia, Part 2 by Epic History TV. DJ, hit that play button.
In 1612, Russia was in a state of anarchy. They called it the Time of Troubles. The people were terrorized by war, famine, and plague.
Wow.
Up to a third of them perished. Foreign troops occupied Moscow, Smolensk, and Novgorod.
Wow.
But then, Russia fought back. Prince Pozharsky and a merchant, Kuzma Minin, led the Russian militia to Moscow and threw out the Polish garrison.
Okay, I would like to know more about how they were able to assemble a grand army after there's been a complete catastrophic failure of who would be the next ruler of Moscow. Because in the previous video, there was, again, a line of successors that caused the Russian state at the time to fall apart. So I'm very curious to know about more of their relationship and where they came from.
Since 2005, this event has been commemorated every 4th of November as Russian National Unity Day.
Yep, that's Putin. That's Putin over there. That's Putin. Oh my god. Oh boy. The Romanovs!
The Russian assembly, the Zemsky Sabor, realized the country had to unite behind a new ruler and elected a 16-year-old noble, Mikhail Romanov, as the next Tsar.
Okay.
His dynasty would rule Russia for the next 300 years.
Oh,
Tsar
right,
Mikhail
yes, right.
exchanged territory for peace, winning Russia much-needed breathing space. His son, Tsar Alexei, implemented a new legal code, the Sabornoye Uluzhenie. It turned all Russian peasants, 80% of the population, into serfs, effectively slaves.
Okay, see, now that's not good. And, you know, of course, this is a different time. So I'm looking at it at a perspective of someone in my time era looking at this. There might have been many reasons for at least the monarchy to do this. Let's face it, it's to have control, absolute power, limit people's freedom and education. But the thing is, with a nation that size, with a kingdom that size, you cannot suppress your people. You have to get them educated and informed. And making them into slaves or serfs, it's never the answer. So Alexei the First, from 1645 to 1676. You're an asshole.
Their status inherited by their children, and with no freedom to travel or choose their master.
Oh, God.
It was a system that dominated Russian rural life for the next 200 years. The head of the Russian Orthodox Church, Patriarch Nikon, imposed religious reforms that split the church between reformers and old believers. It's a schism that continues to this day.
I would like to know the difference between the Reformers and the Old Believers. Maybe that's for a video for another time, but...
Ukrainian Cossacks, rebelling against the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, recognized Tsar Alexei as overlord in exchange for his military support. It led to the 13 Years' War between Russia and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Russia emerged victorious, reclaiming Smolensk and taking control of eastern Ukraine. A revolt against Tsarist government, led by a renegade Cossack, Stenka Razin, brought anarchy to southern Russia. It was finally suppressed. Razin was brought to Moscow and executed by quartering.
Oh!
The sickly but highly educated Fyodor III passed many reforms. He abolished Mesnichestva, the system that had awarded government posts according to nobility rather than merit, and symbolically burned the ancient books of rank.
I'm not a fan of book burning. I wish those books survived and would survive till now. I mean, that's lost knowledge. Even though the books were impressive and they had the ranks of who would get what, I think it's important for future generations to see this, see their writing, see the culture. You got to preserve your history. But I understand why he burnt them to cement his legacy, cement his power, his new administration. It's just now that they're lost forever. So, I'm not a fan of burning knowledge, so there you go.
But Fyodor died aged just 19.
Oh my goodness, what a young man.
His sister Sophia became Princess Regent, ruling on behalf of her younger brothers, the joint Tsars Ivan V and Peter I.
Okay.
After centuries of conflict, Russia and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth signed a treaty of eternal peace. Russia then joined the Holy League in its war against the Ottoman Empire. Sophia's reign also saw the first treaty between Russia and China, establishing the frontier between the two states.
And even throughout all that time, they're expanding eastward. It's incredible maintaining that kind of, at this point, call it what it is. It's an empire, not even a kingdom or even a feudal state. It's an empire. Incredible. I am humbled, really, by the fact that even back then, people were able to do this. And it's incredible that they were able to secure such a nation at that time with limited technology. But I guess if the Tsar of Russia tells you to jump, I'm going to assume you got to jump, right? Okay, I'm getting a lot of thumbs up from people. Okay, so there you go. There you go. Peter the Great. All right, Peter, tell us why you're so great. And no, not Peter from Family Guy. I know, just I had to stop that before anyone else thought it. Because I just see his face being put in there, him doing his Family Guy laugh.
At age 17, Peter I seized power from his half-sister Sophia. Peter became the first Russian ruler to travel abroad. He toured Europe with his Grand Embassy, seeking allies for Russia's war against Turkey, and learning the latest developments in science and shipbuilding.
As he should.
The war against Turkey was successfully concluded by the Treaty of Constantinople. Russia gained Azov from Turkey's ally, the Crimean Khanate, and with it, a foothold on the Black Sea. Peter made many reforms, seeking to turn Russia into a modern European state. He demanded Russian nobles dress and behave like Europeans. He made those who refused to shave pay a beard tax.
Hey guys, we're gonna change the way we dress, the way we do things, and all you dudes with the beards, you gotta pay a tax. Oh. Did you pay your taxes? Yeah, I did. All right, there you go. Pay the beard tax. How would you feel about a beard tax? Trying to grow my beard out. I don't know. Maybe I'd be upset if someone told me I had to get a beard tax.
Peter built the first Russian navy, reformed the army and government, and promoted industry, trade, and education. In the Great Northern War, Russia, Poland, Lithuania, and Denmark took on the dominant power in the Baltic, Sweden. The war began badly for Russia with a disastrous defeat to Charles XII of Sweden at Narva. But Russia won a second Battle of Narva, before crushing Charles XII's army at the Battle of Poltava. On the Baltic coast, Peter completed construction of a new capital, St. Petersburg.
I know this one tidbit too about Peter the Great, and that is he was very tall first time. He was a very well-built guy. He was that mofo was eating beans and eating his fair share of them. But he was a strong man, well fit for his time, and the construction of St. Petersburg, from what I remember reading about, that was his big endeavor, and that was something he wanted to do. He wanted to create a real modern city in his nation that would be on par with what he saw in Europe. And I think that's something that every leader should do, or like a successful monarch. Tour your other rivals, your allies, build alliances, find out what's happening in the world around you. That's how you get more worldly. You get to find out what's happening. You got to experience things. And I envy him for building his own city. So he was city skylines before it became digital. So there you go.
The building of what would become Russia's second largest city among coastal marshes was a remarkable achievement, though it cost the lives of many thousands of serfs. The Great Northern War ended with the Treaty of Neustadt. Russia's gains at Sweden's expense made it the new dominant Baltic power. 4 years before his death, Peter was declared Peter the Great, father of his country, emperor of all the Russias.
Or empresses. Now, Peter the Great died, from what I remember. He died saving one of his workers from drowning, and he caught pneumonia and died. At least that's... Am I wrong? Okay, we'll find out later. But as someone who's went through pneumonia, it sucks. And yeah, there you go.
Peter was succeeded by his wife Catherine. Then his grandson Peter II, who died of smallpox, aged just 14. Empress Anna Yanovna, daughter of Peter the Great's half-brother Ivan V, was famed for her decadence and the influence of her German lover, Ernst Biron. During Anna's reign, Vitus Bering, a Danish explorer in Russian service, led the first expedition to chart the coast of Alaska. He also discovered the Aleutian Islands, and later gave his name to the sea that separates Russia and America.
That's great. Hey, you know what? We don't have a name for this sea. What are we going to call it, Captain? We're going to call it after me. We're going to call it the Bering Sea. Brilliant move, boss. Brilliant move. Of course you have to agree it's brilliant. I'm the one that's paying you, after all.
After Anna's death, her infant grandnephew Ivan VI was deposed by Peter the Great's daughter, Elizabeth. Ivan VI spent his entire life in captivity.
Oh no.
Until age 23, he was murdered by his guards during a failed rescue attempt. Elizabeth, meanwhile, was famed for her vanity, extravagance, and many young lovers.
Jeez, lady, calm down.
Capable of decisive leadership. In alliance with France and Austria, Elizabeth led Russia into the 7 Years' War against Frederick the Great of Prussia. The Russian army inflicted a crushing defeat on Frederick at the Battle of Kunersdorf, but failed to exploit its victory. Meanwhile, in St. Petersburg, the Winter Palace was completed at vast expense. It would remain the monarch's official residence right up until the Russian Revolution of 1917. Peter III was Peter the Great's grandson by his elder daughter Anna Petrovna, who died as a consequence of childbirth.
Okay.
Raised in Denmark, Peter spoke hardly any Russian and greatly admired Russia's enemy, Frederick the Great. So he had Russia swap sides in the 7 Years' War, saving Frederick from almost certain defeat.
Wait. Dude, what's wrong with you? Oh, wow.
Peter's actions angered many army officers, and he'd always been despised by his German wife, Catherine. Together, they deposed Peter III, who died a week later in suspicious circumstances.
That's key word for he was poisoned or murdered.
His wife, Catherine, became Empress of Russia. Her reign would be remembered as one of Russia's most glorious. Epic History TV depends on donations from its fans through its Patreon.
All right, well, be sure to help out Epic History TV. They're making great content. Be sure to share their content on social media as well. We're not done yet with our adventure into the history of Russia, but I've been noticing, again, hold on, wait, real quick, I'm getting a little bit of a reminder. Illness and death, what happened to Peter the Great. He rest in peace. In the winter of 1723, Peter, whose overall health was never robust, began having problems with his urinary tract and bladder. Oh. In the summer of 1724, a team of doctors performed surgery, releasing upwards up to 4 pounds? 4 pounds of black urine? Oh my God, dude! Peter remained bedridden until late autumn. All right, so I gotta hold on, wait. In the first week of October, sorry, can you keep that highlighted? In the first week of October, restless and certain he was cured, Peter began a lengthy inspection of the various projects. According to legend, in November at Lakata, along the Finnish Gulf, to inspect some ironworks, Peter saw a group of soldiers drowning near shore and waded out into the near waist-deep water, came to their rescue. Oh, this icy water rescue is said to have exacerbated Peter's bladder problems and caused his death, so it wasn't pneumonia. I'm sorry for the misinformation, folks. Thank you for the correct information. The story, however, has been viewed with skepticism by some historians, pointing out that the German chronicler Jacob von Stalin is the only source of the story, and it seems unlikely that no one else would have documented such an act of heroism. This, plus the interval of time between these actions, Peter's death seems to preclude any direct link. Peter died between 4 and 5 in the morning of February 8th, 1725. An autopsy revealed his bladder to be infected with gangrene. Ugh. Oh, wow. Can you imagine? Did it, hold on, wait. And before we move on, before I end, I'm wondering, what does 4 pounds of urine, is it solid or is it liquid? Anyways, yeah, so be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that ring bell notification. If there's a fun video you want us to react to, type it in the comment section below. And 4 pounds of urine, okay, hold on, wait, quick tidbit. A healthy adult bladder can hold up to 16 ounces or 2 cups of urine. This is great news if you've only had 1 cup of coffee, but not so much if you find yourself... Anyways, I digress. We got to move on. Folks, thank you so much for joining us. Take care. Peace.